The best way to watch anime in the comfort of your own home on all your devices is with Crunchyroll Premium, where you can watch new stuff and also old stuff as well. Shows you grew up with, every single episode of stuff like Naruto, Bleach, it's all on Crunchyroll Premium. Try it right now at crunchyroll.com/geekdom or click the link in the description. I think chapter 61 is probably the most anticipated manga chapter that we've had since the beginning of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that way. But after reading this manga, I feel like chapter 62 may end up being just as hyped up. We got a lot of answers to a lot of questions and a lot of very interesting scenarios. And to quote the great Roddy Piper, just when you think you have all the answers, Toyotaro changes the questions. And that's pretty much what the story is going to be going forward here in the Moro arc. Indeed, Vegeta did defeat Moro, but like always with Dragon Ball, things are not going to go the way that you think. And there's usually a twist thrown in there somewhere, and we definitely got one at the end of this manga chapter. But more on that later. Let's go back to the beginning. So Vegeta and Moro begin fighting, and it looks like Vegeta is having trouble with Moro, and Moro is still feeling very overconfident, but Vegeta is also overconfident. And Moro is trying to get Vegeta to quit fighting, but Vegeta does not want to quit. Vegeta wants to keep it going because he's got some secret trick up his sleeve, which they've been teasing for quite some time now. The people on the sidelines are discussing what's going on, and Piccolo seems confident that Vegeta seems to have some kind of ace up his sleeve. Now, at one point in the fight, Moro tries to attack Vegeta with what seems to be a key attack, but Vegeta manages to actually dodge it in a very Ultra Instinct style of dodging, but it's not really Ultra Instinct, so don't get hyped up for this because that's not what it is. But he manages to move out of the way, but then what ends up happening is Moro ends up spilling out some of his energy, and this is all because of Vegeta's manipulation. So Goku gets curious and he asks Vegeta what the hell is going on, and Vegeta says that it is a forced separation of the spirit separation. This is the technique that is essentially what was teased as being spirit control. That's what this is. So Vegeta is able to use the spirit energy and manipulate it in a grander way than Moro can to remove Moro's edge. So it seems like this technique is tailor-made to fight somebody like Moro. It might not really be as effective against other fighters, but this technique seems to be perfect against a guy who also has magical hacks. So as the fight goes on, Vegeta and the spirit energy that he keeps punching out of Moro is forming into a big energy ball in the sky. So Moro starts to actually age. He starts to lose all that energy that he's been absorbing throughout the majority of the arc. Vegeta has successfully been able to nullify the hacks of Moro's magic, and this is exactly what needed to happen. Not a new transformation, not some new brute force technique, but a way to actually beat Moro at his own game. So I gotta commend Toyotaro for doing the right thing here because it makes perfect sense. Remember that this arc has been all about mind, body, and spirit, no pun intended, and not just about physical power. Really, it's a lot more of a methodical, thought-provoking type of battle than just a regular brute force fight like with Jiren or with Broly. So after Vegeta gives Moro a pounding and sucks out his energy, oh boy, all that energy ends up going back to their origin. So the ball in the sky sort of explodes and all that Genki goes back to where it originally was. Now, that of course begs the question, does this mean that Vegeta can now nullify the Genki Dama, the spirit bomb, with the spirit control? And I think that is a possibility, but we don't know yet. But it is a possibility. That being said, we find out on Yardrat they actually witnessed this and they know that Vegeta has successfully used the spirit separation technique. Now, while all this is happening, a conversation is going on between Gohan, Piccolo, and Goku about spirit separation, and he discusses that he admits that he could not learn this technique, and this is the first time he's actually seen it in use. So he knew about the technique from when he was on Yardrat, but like we established before, he wasn't there long enough to learn this technique, or maybe he wasn't a smart enough fighter at the time. Of course, this is many, many years later, and both Goku and Vegeta are much smarter than they were back in the day. As this is going on, Vegeta says that his senses are far better than Goku's, and this time he will get the win, which is sort of like Toyotaro teasing the audience about Vegeta getting to beat a big villain, but again, it doesn't quite turn out that way. So Moro tries to attack again, but Vegeta is not phased. And as this is going on, Moro is aging more and more. So we're going back to seeing Moro as he was in his original state. Now, I should mention also that as this energy is going back into the universe, the Yardrats have a discussion about whether or not this life energy, this Genki, can bring people back to life who have been killed. And Paibara explains that only races with strong life energy can come back to life that way anyway. So that makes you wonder about who they're referring to besides what we see. And what we do see is that the Namekians are coming back to life, which is good. On New Namek, some of the ones that were killed by Moro are coming back to life. And as this is going on, Vegeta is still having Moro spit out more and more of this energy, and it looks like he may have actually won. And it's pretty cool that Vegeta was indeed training to save the universe. And that leads to a comment by Piccolo about how it's interesting, essentially he says that it's interesting that Vegeta may be trying to atone for his sins of the past by becoming a better person, and he talks about how Goku made him a better person, which of course is the long-running theme of Dragon Ball, is that Goku makes friends out of his enemies and makes them into better people. And that's something we've seen over and over again, and Vegeta's no different, but that already happened in the Buu arc. This is just him kind of just becoming more of a hero as opposed to just being an anti-hero. So at this point, folks, Moro has been defeated. Vegeta has beaten Moro like everybody wanted to. Vegeta's about to finish him off, and he asks Jocko if they want him alive or dead, and Jocko says you might as well kill him because no one else can do it, and he would get death penalty anyway, so you might as well just finish him off. But at this point, Moro has one more trick up his sleeve and uses his magic to disappear. Jocko looks up, and then Vegeta looks up as well, and it looks like Moro arrives at his spaceship and right away kills Shimorika. Now, we originally reported that he absorbed Shimorika, but that was a mistranslation. He kills him, and then he finds that 7-3 is alive as the backup and literally eats him. He did not absorb him like Majin Buu or use some kind of energy blast. He literally eats this guy, like swallows him. Yeah, he does that. I'm not kidding. And yeah, so he eats this artificial human 7-3. I lost my train of thought there for a second. And then as Vegeta arrives, he fires a blast at Moro, but then he gets tossed back down. And then Goku all of a sudden realizes that, wait a minute, we might be in trouble. And we find out that Moro's energy has indeed gotten much higher. There is a spike in energy here, and Moro is not the same Moro as before. And everyone's trying to figure out what's going on, but Moro finally comes down back to the ground from the ship in a brand new form. Moro has absorbed 7-3. And now we have what I believe is probably going to be the final boss of this arc. Of course, I could be wrong on that because, we don't know yet. The arc could take several different twists and turns. But this new Moro now has not only 7-3's battle power, which isn't really too impressive, but more usefully, he now has 7-3's ability to copy others' techniques. So we may indeed be dealing with a villain who can copy Ultra Instinct Omen, possibly copy even Vegeta's spirit separation, and maybe even now, at this point, be able to manipulate the Genki better than Vegeta and possibly absorb it all back. Who really knows? Because this is the big cliffhanger for the next manga chapter. And he says that now he's even stronger than before. And yeah, it looks like Vegeta is in trouble. And it may take more than Vegeta to defeat this guy. So, no, Vegeta did not get the kill on the final villain, even though, again, the arc is not over yet. He may still do it in the future. But it was a great twist that Moro was able to absorb 7-3 and now come back and fight again, which we kind of suspect it could have happened, even though most of us thought 7-3 was going to be the one taking Moro's power and being the head villain at the end. Still, this is weird, but it works. I know some folks are not happy with this. It's always very polarizing every month, but I actually thought this was a great manga chapter. I thought they did a good job in showing that Vegeta has become way smarter than ever before. I thought that the fight itself was fun, and I thought that the twist at the end actually does work because again, it's a good little twist. You know, that's what Dragon Ball kind of does. You think that Cell is done, he comes back. You think that Majin Buu is done, he comes back. It's been a recurring thing in Dragon Ball, you know, where they do these false finishes. Toriyama is good at them now, and obviously Toyotaro is following suit. I, for one, am excited for the next manga chapter. I want to see the abilities of this ultimate Moro, this Moro 7-3 fusion, and I want to see, does this mean that we're going to see fusion from Goku and Vegeta? Is that what's going to happen? Are they going to team up? Will Majin Buu come back and absorb them? What is going to happen? Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I enjoyed this manga chapter. It was satisfying to me, and I look forward to seeing where they go from here, because I didn't want this arc to end this soon. Something else has to happen, and I think having Vegeta just squash this guy is not enough. It has to be a bit more of a struggle, and I look forward to seeing how these guys are going to win. How are the good guys going to win? Will it be Goku, Vegeta? What's going to happen? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, as always, for watching. I love you guys, and smash that like button for me. Leave a comment, and I will be back very soon with a very, very interesting video on Vegeta here on the channel. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.